So Forest beat Ipswich by 4-2, sitting third in the league. A gap to fourth place. Is this done? Can we start playing that Champions League music? Welcome to Happy Old Reds. Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Happy Old Reds. Where I gotta say, guys, this is like since we won the playoffs, I'm like really happy at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the table every 5 minutes. Forest the third. We got a nice gap now. We got a relegation team next in the league in Man United, still in the cup. Congratulations to our fellow Alliance brothers, man, and sisters, Newcastle, on beating the Scousers. It's been a good weekend in general, boys. I mean, I can't find anything to complain about. I'm sure we will, because this is what we do. But yeah, what a great weekend. Chat, let us know how you're feeling. How happy clappy are you? How full is your happy clapper bottle of juice right now? And let us know by hitting that like. Make sure you're subscribed as well. Just before I get the boys in, just a quick reminder, there's an FA Cup event with Stuart Pearce, who will be there. I mean, does it surprise any of you that Piercy has taken emergency off a plane and then a week later he's ready and back to business? I mean, what an absolute legend. He's coming to Nottingham on the 26th, which is a week on Wednesday, at Huddle, which I'm sure, Rob, we were saying it used to be called the Red Square back in our day.
No, Squares.
Yeah. Square, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right next to Pretz, right in the middle of town. So if you want to get there, there's some early bird tickets now for £5. The event have also given me a couple of pairs of tickets, which I will give away. So if you are free, and only enter if you can make it, and you want a pair of tickets, I'll give away a couple. There's a post in the community tab. Just go in there now and type Psycho in there. And then we'll pick some... Huh?
Do we have to be over 18?
Yes. Stony, surely by now you're 18, bro. I mean, it's been like 3 years, man. I mean, how much longer can you pull this under 18 thing? So yeah, make sure you're 18. Curtis, I know you won't be able to make it, but yeah, just go and put Psycho. I'll put the link in the chat in just a second for you guys. But you can go and grab the tickets now as well. It will be Dion Dublin hosting it, not us this time. But it's going to be a cracking event, obviously, in the build-up to the Brighton game. So I'll get the link in the chat for you guys now. Mark, you are not under 18, bro. Don't try that crap.
Best catfishing impressions, mate. You're not
honestly, man. And won't get any 17. Carol, stop sucking up already. I know you're happy because we've beaten Ipswich and everything. Did you see Anderson in the crowd at Wembley? I did. Lefty sent me the picture. Are people making a big deal out of that?
No.
I was gonna say no. Well, I was gonna say he's
he was all togged up, and he's actually film of it. He's all togged up. And he's loving it. But he's a Newcastle fan. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
I was gonna say. If anyone's making a big deal about that, then bloody hell, we really have no problems to talk about right now. Boys, how you doing? How's the happiness levels?
Yeah, really good. But I think there's one important announcement. We'd only just got it just before we went live about Morgan Gibbs-White being called up to the England squad in place of, I think, Cole Palmer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's official. Yeah. So congratulations to him.
Well done.
It's been the whole talk of this England selection, hasn't it? His Tuchel's first selection. The main talking points have been the
people are staggered, aren't they?
The admission of Henderson and Rashford, and the omission of Callum Hudson-Odoi and MG Dub, and every single channel's been talking about it. And I'm glad he's got his chance. For those who are really bothered about it, and for me, I am. I've not cared about England for a long time, but with our players in there, obviously I'm going to be interested. So good luck to him, and congratulations to him as well for getting that call up. But he deserves it.
I actually put a message in one of the WhatsApp groups saying that the footballing gods have smiled on Tommy Tuchel because he was coming in for a lot of stick about that, and he's just he's got away with it.
Yeah,
maybe he watched Match of the Day Because Alan Shearer did a sort of 30-second monologue about it, didn't he?
Yeah,
I don't watch.
He did, yeah. I caught that.
did.
Just sorry to interrupt. Just very quickly, there's the link. Click on that. You'll see the tab with Psycho's picture. Just type in Psycho in that. That tells us that you can make it. So check your diaries. 26th, 6:30, cracking event. For me, it's the stories and then the meet and greet as well. I mean, Ez is banned from going after last time.
I actually am banned.
Yeah, we're not unleashing Ez. So go click on that link and type in Psycho. But yeah, that's good news. I hadn't heard that. I've just literally been with my parents. So
it's on the official WhatsApp group, NFFC WhatsApp status.
I can't believe Callum Hudson-Odoi's not been called up. I'm sorry, Callum Hudson-Odoi right now is on fire.
I can't believe they've got 4 goalkeepers. What's the point?
Yeah, 4 goalkeepers for 2 games against, who is it? It's somebody in Latvia.
This is ridiculous.
Maybe all 4 are going to get
Albania and Latvia, I think it is.
Yeah, but all 4 will get 45 minutes each. That's probably how they're going to treat it, isn't it? I mean, they can use a lot of subs in these games now.
Are these friendlies or qualifiers?
No, these are qualifiers.
They are qualifiers, but even so,
one of them's a championship goalie. Like, what's the point?
Oh, what? Trafford? Did he get called up?
Yeah, Trafford's been called up.
Yeah.
You know what? He was crap for Burnley last year.
Yeah,
man.
He was terrible.
He was last year's Ramsdale, wasn't he?
Basically, yeah, exactly. So interesting.
Anyway. Before we go any further, there's something I have to bring up because Mr. Woolfield there is terribly misinformed. I was watching, I think it was the player ratings, and he got into a discussion about how to pronounce grass. So I'll ask Crypto, how do you pronounce grass, mate?
Oh yeah.
Grass.
Right. Rob, how do you pronounce grass, mate?
He's gonna say grass.
Grass. Yeah. Ez, how do you pronounce grass, mate?
It's grass. I want to know how he pronounces laugh in the bath or how he pronounces garage.
It's grass, man. Do you know how annoying it is? Do you know how annoying it is? My God,
he tried to convince everybody, all the Nottingham people. He tried to convince. No, it's grass.
Forget the Nottingham people, man. Forget the Nottingham people.
Take over, man. Take over. Dethrone him now. Go up the top.
No. You know what the issue is, right? You know why it's such a bugbear of mine? Because I grew up in Bedford. Listen. Bedford's here and Peterborough's here, right? There's 30 miles between them. In Bedford, it's grass. My kids say grass, and
because
it's correct.
It's not correct, man.
Does anybody here know why the Cockneys and people of that ilk actually say grass and last and path? Do you know why?
Go on,
correct.
Because in the I think it was the 18th or 17th century, around the time of the French, you know when they're all dressed in foppish and everything. They all were pretending to have French accents. So they would say, I've got grass and I'm down the path because they were pretending to be French.
So what he's doing
is continuing this disgusting habit of pretending to be French.
Why are you pointing the finger at me, man? It's everyone south of Peterborough speaks correctly. What can I say?
It's true. I used to argue with my...
You've known us long enough to know how to pronounce things correctly now. I had to teach you the other day how to say Nottingham.
No.
It's not Nottingham. It's Nottingham.
It's Nottingham.
It's not Nottingham.
Curtis
is getting educated.
Curtis has said what I would say. How would you pronounce crass?
Nobody
says crass.
But
crass.
People will believe you. They'll believe you. And they'll all start walking around Nottingham saying Nottingham. So don't.
It's not
freaking 1865. Damn straight I know, bro. Damn straight I know, man. I was Goldington massive, you know what I'm saying?
My cousins, they're all from Cambridge, so it's a home counties accent. So they say grass and laugh and bath. I said, do you have a laugh in the bath or a laugh in the bath?
There's one thing that's important, Ant, though. If any of us four went on Never a Foul, they wouldn't understand us. So that's why he's good at that.
Let me ask, Rob, you
that's
this.
Because you don't speak in this pseudo-patois that they all
speak. Wait. All right, we're going to talk about football. Rob, what day of the week is it today?
Sunday,
yeah. You know, Nick, he says Sunday. And it
right. Oh yeah. The further north you get, see, this is the situation in the Midlands. Well, no, the East Midlands, no, Nottingham. We know how to speak properly. As soon as you go north, it's all Sunday, Monday, As soon as you go south, it's grass and path. So we're the only ones. We're right in the middle of the country. We know how to speak properly. That's what it is, mate.
Yeah, here.
No, yeah, I love everything about Nottingham.
Listen, it's fine that you're wrong,
yes.
but you can't be calling out the whole of Nottinghamshire, mate.
All right.
You can't
Well, firstly, Mr. Localization, Forest is global, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, when I lived in
Forest are global.
when I lived in Nottingham for like 8 years.
Correct him.
Oh,
No,
no,
when I was
Forest
living in
are
Nottingham, I would speak, the Queen's English, and everyone would understand me for a start, right? But then again, most people around there were all students back in those days, so they were speaking correctly as well.
You know how we said we were going to get...
That's nothing compared with one of the comments that said, "Why did you speak with a pseudo-American accent?"
I've had that. Apparently, I got Australian accent as well. Mark with the £2
city instead of city. It's city. It's a T, not a D. City.
I say city. I say
You
Man
don't say
City.
city. You
That's
say
Man
Man
City.
City.
Reminds me of
Anyway, Mark with the £2 says, so is ass pronounced us? No, ass is pronounced ass and us is pronounced us. What are you saying there, Mark?
Yeah,
Nice try, Mark. Nice try.
Well.
Yeah. That cost you £2 to get your ass handed to you, mate. Yeah. To get your ass handed to you. Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's start talking about football. You can tell how good a mood we are because everything's all right. We're literally arguing over semantics, man. Yeah, we're arguing semantics right now because let me get to you, Ben.
Isn't it semantics?
Semantics. Oh, this is going to be a long stream. Let me ask you, Ben. Like, how happy and are you right now?
I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, I thought the match.
It doesn't seem it, mate.
I thought the match.
I'm dead happy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what else can I say? That's it. Just end the stream. I know. Look, it was a great match. Obviously, was it 8 minutes where we scored those 3 goals, and the goals as well were brilliant. And one thing that really impresses me, because I'm absolutely crap at it, is when players score with their weaker foot, and that shot, that finesse shot from Elanga on his weaker left foot was sublime. To put that in that bottom corner. The Milenkovic goal was amazing. He's had 4 goals now this season. And then obviously the ones after as well. So it was brilliant. I did see somebody comparing it to, I think, the Southampton match where we scored and then nearly ended up losing it. I don't think it was quite that bad. But look, you can see some players shining through again. And how Callum Hudson-Odoi hasn't been called up to the England team, I will never know, because I think he's absolutely brilliant. And Elanga's showing his confidence. So if we carry on like this, we're guaranteed to get Champions League. I think we could secure Champions League in the next 5 matches. We don't need 9 matches. I think we'll get it done in the next 5 matches.
I want to touch on Milenkovic with you, Ant, because I feel all the plaudits yesterday were going to Elanga, rightly so. Morgan Gibbs-White is getting big. I didn't think he had a great game.
I thought
not a bad game, but not a great game. But I want to ask you, because I know you respect that defensive fortitude, and if I said fortitude right, you okay with that pronunciation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, I was just checking. What are you saying to Milenkovic's performance yesterday?
Honestly, before any of the discussions and the after matches out, he was my man of the match, and it was dead solid. He's a leader. Took his goal really well, by the way. Cushion it on your lap and then smash it into the top of the net. That's not bad for a central defender. But you know what made me chuckle yesterday? I counted 3 occasions where that orange boot of his just oofed the ball out of defence.
Sorry, what out of the defence?
What did you do? Oof the ball.
Oh, there is a H. There is a H in that word, yeah?
H? What's H? Does it mean H?
Oofed it.
No, he goes oofed.
Sorry, I don't know what oofed. I would never say it. It's not in my lexicon. It's not in my lexicon.
I can be petty too, mate.
So we're not saying H.
Oh, come on, it's not gonna be a long stream.
Hoofed it out of defence on 3 different occasions. And I thought that's one of the things I love about him. He's solid. He's safe. He doesn't piss about. He doesn't try and bring it down, play it out, go past and lose the ball like a certain member of our defence occasionally does. If he's in a situation where the ball needs to be hoofed, he will.
That's a good point,
and I love that. Yeah. So, yeah, he was absolutely fantastic yesterday. What a bargain. What a player. What a man. I love him.
Can I just respond to Lemmy's point?
Ask him where he was on Thursday before he starts going all nitpicky at you, mate. I hope his exam went well.
I was just going to say, one of the things that's really impressive now is that we're finally seeing other people score. We no longer have to rely on Christopher Wood. So it's great that I think now, even if you didn't put Chris Wood in effectively, if you didn't even start him, you've got people like Elanga, Cho, MGW.
Ben, I've been quietly impressed with Taiwo's contributions lately. His hold up play is
guys, let me ask it.
Well, we'll come on to Stop jumping.
His hold up play at this precise moment in time is probably 1,000 times better than Chris Wood's. Chris Wood yesterday.
Come on to him, Anthony.
Okay.
Chill.
No,
you're doing a Ben here.
I am doing a Ben.
You are doing
steamrolling. You're steamrolling.
Yeah.
Steamrolling, yeah.
Robert, who for you stood out yesterday?
Well, the obvious one, which is Anthony Elanga. He seems to be playing in a different position. I mean, you can't really talk about this without also talking about the Chris Wood question, right? So they illustrated it quite well on Match of the Day. You know, we've noticed that Elanga's been moving around and sometimes ends up on the same side as Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he was more down the middle yesterday, and his finishing was excellent. Both finishes were really, really good. I'm not sure that his left foot is his weaker foot, by the way. I think he's pretty good on.
He is right footed naturally. That's my point.
It was.
I think he's only 3-star in.
I'm not saying literally like he has a weak foot. I'm just saying like everyone has either, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that the key thing is that you know, there's lots of videos out there made about 2 months ago about why Forest doing so well, and everybody's saying, oh, they're going to be found out. And I think it's important to note that Nuno has changed the tactic and changed the shape a little bit over the last month in order to get results out of people like Arsenal and Man City, and it's evolving as the season goes on. So whereas Elanga's previous job was to cross the ball onto Chris Wood's head, which is how he got a lot of his 18 goals, now Elanga's got a different role, which is to get in those pockets and do damage and pop up where he's not expected and make the opposition team fearful of pushing the line too high. So, you know, I'm glad that we're looking at this as a positive because, you know, about 2 months ago, we were saying, oh no, what happens if Chris Wood gets injured? We're way too dependent on him. So now we've had 9 goals scored by other people since Chris Wood last scored a month ago. 2 from Milenkovic, 2 from Elanga, 2 from Hudson-Odoi, 2 from Yates and 1 from Jota. So 9 goals in a row by other people. We should see that as positive. Because we've diversified a little bit. We're a bit less sort of one-dimensional. Now, in terms of has Chris Wood lost his mojo? Of course not. You know, we had little worries. Remember when he missed from 5 inches against Tottenham last year? It was like, oh, that's it. Career over now. Yeah. Career over. Look, Chris Wood is mentally very, very strong. He won't doubt his own abilities. Just look how confident he is taking penalties, for example, right? So I think we just have to acknowledge that Nuno, of necessity, has changed the way that the attack is set up. And that means that the goals are coming from, it's surprising us. And that's how you surprise the other team as well, because they've done the homework on us. And if we just went out with the same stuff we did for the first 30 games or the first 25 games, then people have already watched the video.
Can I just shout out Jimmy? What are you saying, Jimmy? Congratulations on beating Wednesday, your cup final, bro. As he calls them Wendy's. I don't know. I didn't get it. Wendy's. It's not even funny.
Oh, but
Jimmy, just could you do us a favor, Jimmy? Just let us know in the comments what you think of Forest season so far, mate. And are you jealous at all, bro?
And do you still consider us to have the worst owners and management?
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. Yo, Jimmy, no, it's joking aside. We gotta get the boys on, including Jimmy. We
we must do that.
We gotta do
listen, we must do that because we're third in the fucking table. We must do
Jimmy, you up for it, Jimmy? You up for a little gloating session, Jimmy? Because we're third in the table. You're third in the table. Are they third? I don't even look. I don't even scroll past the top 5 in the Premier League anymore, boys. Let alone go down to Championship level. Where are you in the table, Jimmy?
They might be top. They might be top. He's lost like
I don't know. I know they beat Sheffield Wednesday.
We're level on points. We're level on points with Leeds at the top, but massively behind on the goal difference. It's like 20 goal difference.
You know what? You boys know I hate Sheffield, right? But I would take them up over Leeds. I'd rather Sheffield and Burnley came up.
I told you,
lads, it doesn't matter who comes up; they're going back down.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying, Sheffield will definitely go back down. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Leeds might put a little bit of a fight up.
I think if I saw it right, Coventry are fifth at the moment.
Yeah, big up Coventry, man. I want Coventry. What I'm saying is, I want Sheffield up because they're guaranteed 6 points for us next season. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's why. As much as I hate them
for that game.
we'll put the cup squad out.
Well, off you going.
Yeah. Wolfie supports Matt SB. I do. Big up to Matt SB. Let's just catch up on some of the old supers. What we got here? Bonjour with the 18 months. What an absolute legend. Thank you so much. AH3, 3 being the key number there, with the 10 months. Thank you so much, buddy. Lemmy as well. Forget 27 months. Congratulations on passing your work exam. Passing your work exam.
Actually, wait, I'm going to say
passing your work exam.
Passing or passing? Surely you should say passing.
I say passing. What do you say? Let's say you say passing.
It's passing, isn't it?
Passing.
Hasn't got an R in it.
You say passenger or passenger?
Seb with the £2. Europe, full stop. Passport.
Passport,
man. Enough already, man. Learn to speak properly or don't speak.
Just shut up.
Chelsea game equals party.
So sorry.
You see, you're not saying patty.
Party.
No, that should be patty. Oh no,
patty.
Seb, thank you for the £2. Seb, I got something for you, by the way. I'll tell Rob to tell you after the stream. Thank you for the £2, bud. Gavin, becoming a new member. Welcome to the Madhouse, Gavin. Thank you so much for your support. And Wazza with the £2 says, it's still surreal. We are third, but defo real. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little annoyed that Arsenal won today. I still want to troll them, Arsenal.
No, I'm not. I'm more happy about.
Boys, we're better than everyone else. We're better than Arsenal. We should be ahead of them.
We're gonna catch Arsenal anyway.
Finishing third will do us quite nicely.
Yeah, but we'll catch Arsenal anyway. But it's better that Chelsea lost for me. So,
hold on, Nikki. Yeah. The last person on this planet I'm gonna take elocution lessons from is you. You probably never heard the word elocution, bro. You think I take elocution lessons from you, bro? Come on, Nikki. Even if you're sober, Nikki. What are you saying here, mate? What are you saying?
There's something I always remember is my brother went to a private school for a while, and when he came out, he was only a little lad. He was only I think about 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. And when
that explains a lot, you know. That explains.
Yeah, but you've heard my brother speak, right? He speaks far more Nottingham accent than I do. Far more.
He does.
Right. But when he had this thing he had to say, because he had elocution lessons, it was, my father's car's a Jaguar and Pa drives rather fast. That's what he had to say.
Is that why he's got a Jag now?
The thing is, when you talk to Nicky about elocution, he thinks you're talking about electrocuting him because he's never heard of the word.
Yeah,
it's a big word. It's a big word for Nicky. If I had tumbleweed, that was a tumbleweed moment. But leave me to it. Anyway,
let's in the chat again. Fed up with us because we're not talking about Forest.
Yeah, let's talk about Forest. I mean, the be all and end of it, boys, is we won. We're going to the Champions League. We're getting the 3rd star. End of stream, really. Or am I missing something?
Hang on. You did say on your video earlier today the one thing that could undo us is complacency. And what are you doing now?
You're not by us, man. I'm talking about the players. Like we can puff our chests
they're
out, Rob.
taking it one game at a time. I mean, now I'm looking at everybody else's fixtures. So we had a great week this week with all of our enemies losing, and then the draw between Brighton and Man City. Next week, I say next week, we're not playing until April the 1st. Next month, which is the next game, is a harder round because we've got to beat Man United because pretty much all of the others have got nailed on wins. So
relegation fodder, man.
No, I know, but it's a much more difficult week in terms of other people's fixtures next time round.
That's the attack won't score against our defence, Rob.
Yeah,
that's mine.
That's my
new catchphrase. That is.
But this is the thing. Surely you got to a point of stop looking over our shoulders now. You know, I'm
not yet.
I'm looking
not yet.
No, Rob, that's you all over, Rob. Because for me,
I've been negative, Rob, man. I saw you in the chat.
Listen, last week he was on the edge of suicide and depressed and flat, and I hate football.
Yeah. So are you. What are you talking about?
Right. You know what? I think I'm the only one who stayed level.
The reason I'm saying this is that next series of games, so 1st and 2nd of April, Bournemouth at home to Ipswich, Man City at home to Leicester. So, they are all going to win, right? So we have to win just to maintain the gap. We've got to win those 5 home games.
Rob, I've been saying for weeks, all we need to do is concentrate on our results.
On our own results, exactly.
True, it's in our hands, but that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy Bournemouth losing at home to Brentford.
I do look at
that was so sweet.
That was fantastic.
Oh, that was so sweet, man.
I'm glad we didn't sign Wisser now because he scored the all-important first goal yesterday.
Yeah.
We don't have to play them again. Oh, do we have to play them again?
Yo, boys, you know this whole boring mouth thing, that everyone's been picking up? Do you know they're 10th in the league? 10th.
Yeah, I know. They've dropped like a stone.
Who's this? Sorry,
boring mouth. 10th.
Oh, yeah.
10th, yeah. Do you remember when they beat us? Like our comments were full of, mind the gap, Forest. We're gonna overtake you, Forest. Now they are on 44 points. We're on 50. There's a 10-point gap and a 7-point placement gap between us and boring mouth, man. Like if you that's
amazing how quickly that's grown, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Look how quickly it's changing from week to week, and as long as we keep getting our results, we don't need to worry about the teams behind them. Let them fight it out because there's teams that are all bunching up. They're all bunching up they're actually fighting for 2 places. I think 4th and 5th is open. I don't see Man City showing any consistency. I'm clearly not seeing any consistency from Chelsea. When you're looking at Newcastle, I think Newcastle are most likely to get into one of those places. But the rest of them, they're all playing each other. They're not picking up a run of results. Bournemouth have dropped off like everybody else has. And Forest are the only one who've stayed consistent. And that's what I'm buzzing about. Yeah. Look at yesterday. That was a 27th time out of 29 league games that we've taken the lead in.
That's amazing.
That's a ridiculous record.
Outstanding.
So, I don't know if anyone agrees with this, but if you told me after 15 minutes that we were going to score 4 goals in that game, I wouldn't have believed you because I think that we have to be more patient. I thought
the game.
Rob, I was thinking about you, mate.
Yeah, no, I mean
in that first 20 minutes, I thought this is Rob ball.
Well, it's because
we did nothing. We did nothing of any creativity, any positivity. We played back and then pounced.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very patient until we get the first goal, and then everything changes. So, but it's weird.
Rob, even though we won 4-2, you were still unhappy. You were in the comments.
I didn't want to let 2 goals in. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but we're coming on to that. We're coming on to that. That's literally one of the only talking points we have, right? Let's not waste it in a passing conversation here.
But let's talk it through because I thought the gameplay was perfect. What we didn't do is what they tried to do is basically work through us, but they didn't get into those traps that we normally set for them. So that first half an hour was purely stalemate, but it exactly worked into our game plan because as soon as we scored that first goal, which let's look at the goals from yesterday. First one was from a set piece. Second one was a long ball, and then second one was a counter attack. second and fourth goals were counter-attacks, and the third one was a long ball. You know, typically that's how we've scored our goals this season. And
what was our first goal again?
First goal was a set piece, wasn't it? Where they've basically
it was in the second phase of a set piece.
Yeah, second phase of a set piece, wasn't it?
Joe crossed in, Dominguez headed back, and then brilliant.
Oh yeah. My boy Milenkovic, man. Oh yeah, I forgot the Serpinator.
And just to touch on that goal, I mean, I was celebrating before it hit the back of the net. As soon as it dropped to him, it just landed so perfectly. I thought it was going to be a goal straight away. And
he had to control it though.
Yeah,
can I make a quiet admission on that goal?
Go on.
I can't. My parents went in the other room, so I said, I found that finish so arousing. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why.
Follow through. It's the follow through.
Yeah, man. It was. Oh God, man.
He kicks it far harder than he needs to score from that range. You know,
do you get what I'm saying here, Rob? The fact that you're agreeing with me is a little worrying. Do you know what I'm saying?
It was like a golf swing. It's like he hits it so hard. It's like
there
that.
No stopping that, was there? If the goalkeeper had been in the way, he took him through the back of the net.
Yeah, it was such a smooth strike, but he did it in one smooth movement. This is why I'm a super chat. I was trying to explain to Laurie that Milenkovic is a better finisher than Felipe.
He's got better control than Taiwo, anyway.
Yeah, and I can't believe you made me read that super chat because I knew you were probably
giggling. You read it wrong.
I know.
A better finisher than Felipe.
I didn't get an answer either.
I don't
know.
Felipe's not renowned for his finishing ability.
No, it's a Zorro reference. It's a Zorro reference.
Yeah. Oh,
you had to be there.
True.
Clearly not.
I'm sorry. I know it might sound a little weird, but I do. I can't deny it. It was. I think Rob's got it right. You know when you've just picked up a driver and you flush it, man, and it just goes straight as an arrow. That was Milenkovic's finish, man.
But then you go on to
in the WhatsApp, somebody put, I can't remember what somebody put. They've got a soft spot for Milenkovic, and I must admit, I replied, "Well, I've got a hard spot for me."
It's important to get goals from his central defenders, though, because those first two seasons we didn't get anything out of the central defenders.
No, we didn't, and that's when we were asked earlier on in the season about who are the best centre backs. One of the things that I kind of marked our two down on was that they weren't we were a threat in the box, but they weren't scoring goals from set pieces and corners from our point of view. But now they've both scored this season, and I think Milenkovic has proven to be a real threat both ends of the pitch. But I just want to touch on Elanga because Elanga's
before you do this, I think this is right. Do you know what? There is a little bit of that Pierce Hardman in Milenkovic. And maybe that's where
he's definitely psycho for the modern era. Definitely,
is he our psycho? Is that modern day psycho? We'll take
the psycho centre back a little.
Although he doesn't necessarily play up to it as much as psycho.
Well, no, but I'm just saying in terms of like when who was I think three of us were there when I shook Pierce's hand. You boys noticed it as well. It was like it was made of steel. Right. I'm not even joking, boys. Am I joking?
No, you are a limp-wristed Nancy boy, aren't you? So
even so, it was absolute steel, right? And I know you lot felt it as well. Don't even try
and to him, of course.
Thank you, right? And I reckon Milenkovic's handshake would feel like Stuart Pearce's handshake. I'm not even joking.
I've shaken Milenkovic.
You have, and ask
I have, yeah.
So talk us through it and compare that handshake to Pierce.
Yeah, it's very firm. It's very firm, but what he doesn't do is hold on to it. He just release the appropriate amount of time as power.
He doesn't hold on to what?
Anyway, back to Milenkovic.
How old is Milenkovic, by the way?
28, 27, 28.
Does anyone remember about 8-9 minutes in? Yesterday.
Why is he not in the Premier League 5 years ago? I don't know.
Spurs wanted him.
He was in Serie A. He was in Serie A, and his wages were a problem. So, does anyone remember about 10 minutes in yesterday? Somebody, and I can't remember who it was, just gave the ball away, and the commentator said, "Oh, he's presented the ball to Delap," and then Delap was straight into the box, and then he just ran straight into Milenkovic, like a brick wall in front of him, wasn't it? It was like, "No, you shall not pass," and that was it. That was Delap's. I mean, you didn't see him again until about 60 minutes.
Rob, you can't make Lord of the Rings reference on here. Wolfie hates Lord of the Rings.
What reference?
It was like Gandalf.
He didn't even get it.
I didn't even hear it. I was reading the comments.
He's not constipated when he says it.
It really isn't worth going over and finding.
All right. Let's keep going. The other defender I want to talk about, guys. Just before I do, is this right? Did you call Thomas out? Hold on, there's one second. Did you call Thomas out, Anne? You know what, Anne? Well done to you, right? Because ever since we hooked Thomas up with Sangare, that's it, man. He's done a lorry. He's done a lorry on us, and he's just like all big-headed and all this. So well done to you for calling him out, and shout out to that. Love you, Thomas. Love you, really. All right. What are you gonna say?
I was just going to finish off what I was saying about Alanga's impact because
finish off. Okay, no.
We've been talking about what's his position been over the last few games, and now you're seeing how it's working.
You'd like to know what position is it? Yeah, sorry, carry on.
I'd like to also know why you were so against him linking up with Callum Hudson-Odoi on one side. Because if you go back to that Newcastle game where that period of time where they absolutely trounced us, it's when they doubled up on that side. All teams do it, and seeing them two together and interlocking play and bringing others into play works for us. We find it very hard. When we've got the ball, we find it very hard to break teams down. And that's the only time you'll see them linking up, when we've got the ball. So the rest of our play is obviously counter-attacking. But when we've got the ball, you will see them two linking up. And I think it's been working really well.
It would confuse the hell out of the opposition. And to have two players with that technical ability on that side, I agree with you. Not all the time.
Not all the time, because we don't have the ball all the time. But when we have the ball, that's how we're going to play.
30% of the time.
All that happens is that it's almost like the last minute of the match where they try and hold it in the corner. They can't move anywhere because there's like 4 or 5 players just gathered in the corner.
That's the only
they can't
time.
go to the other wing. They can't go to the other wing because no one's there. It
We
doesn't
don't
work.
need to go to the other wing.
all the time.
Yeah, we don't do it all the time because we don't have the ball all the time. I'm just saying, when we have the ball, is when you
it
see
doesn't
it.
work after 15 minutes and have to change back to the normal formation.
Here's the simple answer.
It was perfect. The problem we're having at the moment is Chris Wood's impact, because he had chances yesterday. Chances that in other games he had.
Just because you've been proven wrong, you're just moving on to Chris Wood.
How have I been proven wrong?
You're deflecting.
I'll tell you how you've been proven wrong. Whoa. What have I been proven wrong on? How has Alanga's performance
it doesn't work for Alanga and Cho in the same corner?
No, because you're talking about the doubling up thing, because I don't like it. And I'll tell you why.
You don't like it doesn't mean anything.
Let me tell you why then.
You're saying
it didn't work.
Listen, it works when we have the ball, but we don't have the ball a lot. So the only time you're seeing it is when we have the ball.
Did we have the ball when Alanga scored his first goal? Did we have the ball when Alanga scored his first goal?
No, that's not the point I'm making.
Where was he, right or left?
No, you're saying he shouldn't be playing up there. I'm saying he should be playing up there, and it's changed the way we've played in the last few games.
I'm not saying that.
Name me another team that has 2 wingers on the same wing.
Name me another team that's third in the table.
That's like saying name me another team that's 7th in the table.
Go back to the Newcastle. Go back to the Newcastle game. All 3 goals that they scored in that short spell of time was all down one side. All their players were playing down, attacking Aina down our right-hand side. And that's where they got their 3 goals.
But as they're doubling up with the winger and the central midfielder. With the central midfielder. Not the winger who's on the other side.
Oh, my God.
Listen, if we're talking about Nuno's tactics, I've got a far more serious
All their wingers came across to one side. Both, what's his name? Anthony Gordon and who was playing on the other side? Jacob Murphy. They both came across.
That was on a counter attack because they were defending 5 seconds later, man. Before
that, don't bother, mate. Don't bother. It's not.
Go back to that game. But the point I'm making is, it does work when we've got the ball, but we haven't had the ball. We're not a team who holds on to possession, and the way we played yesterday was absolutely perfect, because on the counter attack you've got that overlap of that extra player. So he's obviously not in a fixed position. What I wanted to ask, the whole point of
the whole front line right now.
Yeah, exactly. So him not playing in the fixed position.
Sometimes he's in the centre. Sometimes he's in the centre.
All I'm saying is, I feel like Nuno's been working on that over the last 3 games, and yesterday was the time when he actually got released and became that extra man. In the other couple of games, he's been preventing He prevented Man City attacking down their side. He prevented Arsenal taking over that side as well. But in yesterday's game was the first time we saw it in an attacking point of view. And he got 2 really good goals. And if we remember the run that we went on, the 7-game winning run, it was sparked by Elanga's goal against Villa, wasn't it? That winning goal against Villa. If he hits that run of form again now, that's why I'm so confident about these games coming up, because it's important that we've got
He's
goals.
streaky. He's very streaky.
He is streaky, and this is him back on his form again. That's the point I wanted to get to. And I felt it worked yesterday.
Yeah, you're still wrong. All right, but we'll move on. Because there was a point. There was a point in the game yesterday where they were both on the left-hand side, and I think Chow crosses it in. The cross goes deep. This is where you have your opposite winger coming in. No one was there. No one was there.
That's where Elliot needs to step up, because when Elanga comes over to fuck all about.
Yeah, but then if we get counted,
I'm talking now. Hang on, you've had your right. When Elanga comes over to the left, it's incumbent upon Ola Aina to make up that run on the right. That's how that system works.
Agreed.
So the fact if the ball came across and there was nobody there, it's not the fault of the tactic. It's not the fault of Elanga. It's Aina that should be there.
Okay, agreed, Ant. But with Aina, he makes one dashing.
Aina is a wing back. I beg your pardon.
Hold on.
If you don't see Aina going forward,
you don't have 3 different arguments, right?
You're not watching football. If you don't see Aina going forward a lot, you're not watching football.
With Aina, you know that if he gets caught after a gut-busting run like that, unless there's some Ribena on the sideline next to him, he's going to be knackered and need a couple of minutes recovery. I'm just saying, Callum Hudson-Odoi is good enough to take on a fullback by himself and whip the ball in.
If Aina pushes forward and he's left forward, you have another player, a midfielder, to cover his position. So I'm answering that comment.
There's some good comments. Read the comments. So
right, if Aina's caught forward, which often happens with defenders, by the way, then you have a defender come across, or you have a midfielder come across.
But why not have
5 of them are on the left wing, man? 5 of them on the left wing.
What's the point having 2 wingers on the same side?
What are we even arguing about?
Because it's different.
It's fun. It's like it doesn't matter because we won.
Can I make a point? We all watch every minute of every game, and we're on here twice a week. And even we are struggling to understand the nuances of what Nuno's doing right now, which is good because, God help the other teams. And I think it's important. He's had to evolve the way that the team is playing.
My complaint. Trying to bring the stream down.
You're going to say back 3?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew you would. Go on.
Before you say that, Ant,
hang on.
No. Let him say his thing because I want to go into a whole thing on that. Go on, Rob. Finish that point and then let's go to Ant.
Fine. Okay.
Go on, Rob.
Right. So I think that he wanted to try it out in a safe environment in a game that we were already leading.
You're talking about it. I thought you were finishing the point of the wing stuff.
No, that's.
You can stop now. Let Ant open this one up, and then you can come back in. Sorry, I thought you were going to do another. Before Ant opens it up, hold on you. Let's check the likes. Let's have a little like check. How are we arguing when we won 4-2 with the 3rd best team in the world?
We don't understand how we did it. We don't know how we did it. We don't know how we were so good.
Yeah, 139 likes, guys. There's 22 now in here.
Come on.
No, that's awful. Come on,
Make sure you hit that like. We should be over 200.
Definitely,
for 150.
I'm messing about.
And just a quick reminder, if you are free Wednesday evening, the 26th, make sure you get yourselves into town to see the legend Psycho, who is doing an evening with. There is some free tickets that you can grab hold of. Well, you put your name in, we'll grab a couple of names there randomly selected. We'll give away a few pair of free tickets, but you can get the early bird special now for £5. So make sure you go and click on that link that I've just put in the chat. And the link is pinned actually in the comments as well. All right, let's talk about this back 3 thing, you misery guts, and go on.
Well, first of all, I think that Nuno is a fabulous manager and he deserves to be manager of the year this year, by the way. Absolutely, no doubt about that. What he's done with this club and this team is outstanding. He didn't walk into a team full of established internationals or anything like that, like Liverpool did, like Slot did at Liverpool. He's taken a bunch of what people perceived as being nobodies and rejects and turned them into a team that's currently third in the table and with a fantastic record. But I was extremely, I could not understand. Well, I do, because I think in Nuno's head, and I don't like this, but things are pre-planned. When things are pre-planned, I think you should always look at the game and adjust your tactics to the game. It seems to me that Nuno's becoming a little bit predictable in the fact that at a certain point of the game, he'll bring Morata on and go to a back three. And there was absolutely no reason whatsoever for him to do that yesterday or Saturday or whenever it was. Yesterday, yeah. No need for him to do that. The way we were performing was perfectly good. He didn't need to piss about. He could have changed some personnel to give fresh legs, but he did not need to go. And as soon as we went to a back three, all of a sudden we were defence, and looking vulnerable. Now, granted, Ipswich are not very good, so they couldn't take full advantage of that. But they did get 2 goals. Yeah, they did get 2 goals, and our last goal obviously was a breakaway goal. But I know it's ifs and buts. But if they'd have scored another, when we broke away, if they'd have scored from that chance instead of us breaking away, it would have been 3-3, guys. Yeah, and that to me is something I didn't like.
The fourth goal, I was their second goal I was most disappointed with, because there's no way Jota should have been the last man jumping up against their main striker when we've got
that's ridiculous, wasn't it? That was ridiculous.
Yeah, 3 central defenders. He should never have been in that position. And I noticed it, and you guys have touched on it, so I'm going to kind of mention what I didn't like about it. But I noticed when Morata came on, he came on with a very... Normally he comes on and he looks stern and he looks right up for the challenge. Yesterday he came on very casual, chewing gum. Like you remember what you say about Worrell back in the day? Came on chewing gum, smiling, looking very lackadaisical. And those 2 goals that we conceded were poor goals to concede. But it goes back to what we said happened in the Newcastle game in our favour. I think Crypto or Rob mentioned about the Southampton game. But that 3-goal lead for teams in the Premier League or any league seems to be one where you switch off. I don't know why they do it. A 3-goal lead and they switch off. And it happened again yesterday. But I didn't like the casual attitude when he came on. I think they thought the game was won and we don't really have to try. And both goals were poor. The first one, I don't know what Yates was trying to do. He was trying to bring his man down, then he realised he couldn't do. And it was a nice finish, but it wasn't a goal that we should be conceding.
I think Sells could have got that. I think Sells could have gone. If he had a longer left arm,
dived too early. I think he dived too early.
His left arm now.
He went with
the right arm because it's longer. We know that the left one's no good, so he went with the right one because it's longer, and it didn't work.
Certainly, their second goal should never have happened.
No, I'm not saying bin him, man. I'm just saying I think he could have saved it.
It was the second goal that annoyed me the most, and that second goal,
it was a great goal.
Because Jota was left with their attacker, that suggests to me that the defence wasn't organised properly, which had previously, with 4 at the back, had been organised brilliantly. All of a sudden, we changed the defence, go 3 at the back, and they're not organised. And that's the concern. And we didn't need to.
And one quick point. I know there's a few Forest fans have been interested in getting Liam Delap, but I've got to say, he's not the one who's impressed me. It's been that George Hurst, both games in the cup game and yesterday.
I think he's only scored against us, I think he's only scored against us.
He's been more impressive in the games that we played against him than Delap for me.
I think Hutchinson's their best player.
Ant will know this, and you'll probably know this. He's David Hurst's son, so he's got a famous
he was a striker.
I was thinking the Mick. Is he really?
Hurst and Rory Delap. Who is better out of David Hurst and Rory Delap? Who's got the best?
Rory Delap was just a thrower, man.
Delap wasn't a striker.
He was a striker.
He was a fullback.
He was a fullback who used to have a long throw.
Yeah,
he used to have a long throw.
Yeah. You're right.
He was at Wednesday, wasn't he? Back in there, was it Sheffield Wednesday?
Wednesday,
the proper Sheffield team. Yeah.
But I've not been impressed with Liam Delap when he's played against us. I'll put it in that way because for me he's not top
I
of
wouldn't
this
want
team.
I wouldn't want us to pay a lot of money for Delap.
No.
I don't want. Why do we want relegation fodder?
No, we don't.
Your mindset is still not right for me. It's like I said to you, he's just the Adebayo of this season from Luton.
Yeah, we don't want him. We should be looking higher than him.
We need to be looking at Gyökeres, Sesko, all these kind of players.
If you're in the Champions League, you need Champions League quality players.
Yeah,
exactly.
Agreed.
100%. Exactly. I don't relegation fodder teams. Nothing against
I feel we need 2 strikers plus Chris Wood. Because I don't think Taiwo will be here next season. Yeah. So 2 strikers plus Chris Wood.
I think we're getting Yuri Ribeiro, and apparently there's a video coming out tomorrow. Apparently Jono's coming back to Forest.
No, I'm not having it.
Great.
and
are you serious? Are you serious?
I don't even want to discuss it because the idea is ridiculous. It's nowhere near.
Fantastic.
Video tomorrow. We'll leave it there. Let's not get
I don't believe it for 1 minute.
Brennan, if you're watching this, Brennan, I'd happily take you back. Mate.
But just bring Jed with you.
Yeah.
Don't bring David with you, the scarf wearing bastard.
I've met David Johnson. He was very nice.
Shut up, Rob.
I saw David Johnson playing for us at Portman Road a long time ago, and he scored against.
I was there when he broke his leg. Exactly. Do you remember that game where he broke his leg? And then do you remember the game where
I love David Johnson.
He was brilliant. Yeah. Do you remember that goal? Who was it against where he came off the pitch and grabbed it from the goalkeeper? Because I was right in line with that. Was it against Norwich?
I can't. It's not asking me. I've seen him score loads of goals.
Someone in the chat will remember. He was basically off the pitch behind the goal. The keeper put it down, thinking no one was behind him. He grabs it off him and scores. Someone in the chat remember who that was against.
That's where he belongs. That's a good point. That's where he belongs.
You think they can get it for 25 million? Finally.
Probably. Anyway, there'll be video. There's loads of transfer videos, by the way, coming this week, so make sure you're tuned in for those. All right, the other thing I want to talk about Nico Williams. Because I gave him an 8 yesterday, right? And you know who you are in the comments was saying to me, I've got these Nico Williams goggles on, and he's at max a 7. I thought he was brilliant again yesterday. In fact, I can't think of a bad game he's had in the last 3 or 4 months, boys. And I am fully converted on this Nico Williams things, man. I think he's one of our most consistent players.
I'm really pleased as well.
He did make one mistake. He got beaten against Bournemouth when what's his name? Django Chains.
Encyclopedia, isn't he?
No, look, listen, I can't remember what he's done wrong.
This is what you were doing in the chat today. We win 4-2, and all I see in the chat is, but Cho lost the ball on the 47th minute.
Information. It's
right. Are you taking notes? Are you taking notes during the game?
I actually watched the games. It's because I actually watched the games. So we can all just be an echo chamber. We can all just go, yeah, isn't he great?
You're the one whose mic's echoing, not ours.
No,
nothing wrong with
Rob, I watched the game. I just forget it.
I know, man, right? Because I'm there doing the player ratings, right? And I know Nico Williams or Chow or Hudson-Odoi had a good game. It was Hudson-Odoi, right? And I said he had a great game.
Chow.
Anyway,
Chow.
That ain't a Southern thing. That is not a Southern thing. And anyway, I'm more Northern than all of you lot because I was born in Scotland. Anyway, I say, fuck. Callum Hudson-Odoi had a great game. And then Rob puts in a message, but he lost the ball in minute 37 when he could have released. I'm like, and then he starts to put these doubts in my mind thinking, did he have a crap game then? Or did he just lose the ball once, right? You're like a freaking weird lizard-brained person, Rob.
Which is what
you take note of every single thing.
Negatives.
No, I'm envious of your recall, but every winger that's ever been occasionally loses the ball. That's what wingers do. They occasionally lose the ball. You know that with a winger.
No, I'm just saying that against Bournemouth, he got taken on and beaten, and that's the only one thing I can hold against him for about the last 3 months.
Are you saying he got taken on and beaten every time, or just a couple of times?
But it cost us a goal, and that's when. But Murillo got out jumped. It was both of them surprisingly got beaten, and that's the one time in the last 3 months.
So you're saying you got an agenda with Nico Williams? Is that
No,
what
in
you're
fact,
doing?
in fact, to be fair to Rob, that's an endorsement of how good
Yes,
he's been. The fact that
that's
he's
what I
only
was trying to say.
won.
Thank you, Anne.
I'm with you, Rob. I'm with you.
Yes.
Mate. Yeah,
Apart from that, it's been pretty flawless for 3 months.
It sounds like an agenda, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and you've got an
If you're
agenda.
if you're going to blow smoke up somebody's arse, you need to actually do it based on real information, not just on a feeling. That's all.
All right,
Yes,
but
I agree with
let me be the negative one here. Is he the left back solution long term?
Yes.
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 No.
Okay,
Agenda.
I'll say why. Because
I'm with this. I'm with this.
It's the end product for me. It's the end product for me. So assists and goals, you know, he gets in positions and he does have a decent shot on him, but he's not consistent enough from that point of view. Well, that's what the market's there for, you know, because we're going to need to bring in better players anyway. And I think in every single position we'll be looking at doubling up, even tripling up in certain positions. And I think another fullback with that added quality, because that's what I was hoping we'd get from Moreno. And even from Moreno, I've been a little bit disappointed with his crosses, because that's one thing that always stood out for me when he was at Villa, that him and Digne, I think, who do fight out in that, were fighting out in that left backs, but both of them had cracking delivery from the left hand side. So that's one thing I think we can find better in, but certainly in terms of his improvement under Nuno, which I think you've mentioned many times, he is the most improved player under Nuno. I think
100%.
I think there's a few players in a shout for player of the season, but I think he's up there in the top 3 for player of the season.
Let's do that. It's strange then that you say that he needs replacing. I don't get it.
Yeah, just for that next level, and just for that next level, because we've got European football coming next year.
We do need to bring a left back in.
I think
asked the question, who is there?
I think he needs competition, and I don't think Moreno's not going to stay, is he?
Yeah,
so we need
I agree with that. I agree with competition, but I don't think that we should.
Moreno won't be here.
But Anne, wouldn't you want? Sorry, let me just finish this point. Wouldn't you want the person that we're looking at to be better than what we've got? That's what.
Look, if we could get Guardiola,
and I think we can get
better.
Then
I'd say yes, get Guardiola, but we ain't getting him.
No, but there are other good left backs out there. I mean, one shout out there, Kirkes. He's got a great delivery.
Very good. Kirkes, I like Kirkes. I'd have Kirkes. But I wouldn't get rid of Nico.
No. Nobody's talking about getting rid of Nico, but we're going to have to add to this squad. That's what I mean. And if you're going to add,
you could say that about all Forest players.
Absolutely. I've just said that. I said, I think in every single position, we're going to be looking to double up or triple up.
Can't we just reframe it, guys, and say that Moreno and Toffolo will probably both not be here next year?
Oh,
right?
no, Toffolo won't be here.
You can't just go into it with one, or in fact, no left backs, because, I mean, although both Aina and Nico can play on the left, that neither of them was sort of brought in as a left back. So if we accept that Moreno loan will not go on into a permanent signing, and that Toffolo is probably going to move on, right? That actually means that we don't have any left backs, right?
So natural left backs.
Yeah. So although Nico is fantastic, and I want to see him playing left back in the Champions League, we do need to make a signing, and it needs to be somebody that can push him hard for that position.
I agree with all that.
There's another one that I really, really like, Anthony Robinson at Fulham. Fantastic.
American.
I think he's probably, for me, he's the best left back in this league on his day.
I do rate him. I'd
still say Guardiola myself, but
but Guardiola, Hudson cooked him, man. He absolutely cooked him.
He's in a terrible defense at the moment.
I mean, honestly, he is the best. He is the best. Yeah.
You know what else is terrible, boys? We're on 182 likes, 647 in here.
Guys, 300 likes.
Disappointed. Even I'll
sell for 200 right now, so I need 18 of you.
I'll settle for 300.
As in, let's phase them in. Let's phase them in. But I want to talk about this. Look, the guys in the chat are starting to chuck some names around, and I want to do this in our last segment now. So Forest are in the Champions League next year. There, I've said it. Level on it. I don't care. Okay, we're done. Where do you need, like, because we all like our team, right? And this is where I need you guys to become more objective. Who needs to be upgraded for next year?
Go on.
Ben,
Chris, you
Ward,
start.
start, Ben.
I said mine.
Chris Ward.
Sorry, Ben.
You can play along as well. Go.
What if we're being like really harsh?
Objectives.
No, genuinely, we're in Champions League. You're thinking
It's not
Champions
harsh.
League.
It's like where do we need strengthening for the Champions League?
We need to be
I'll come to you.
realistic.
Let's start with Ben.
I'm just saying we need to be realistic, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's no good saying we need to replace him.
No, I'm not saying give me names. I'm saying what positions. Like where does the upgrade need to happen? You know what I'm saying?
So I think we need a second striker.
A second or a first, Ben? A second or a first? Is Chris Wood good enough for Champions League?
Well, at the moment, I think he is. Whether he will be next year, I have no idea. But I think we need another striker. I think if we're talking Champions League, we could do with another winger who can cover both wings potentially. Because Jota, although Jota has good spells, I'm not 100% convinced on Jota. I'd keep Jota as a backup, but I think we could bring in a better quality winger to cover Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi. One of the biggest positions for me is we need a CDM, and we need a number one CDM to step in and basically be the first name on the team sheet. Some people would argue we need maybe another backup goalkeeper. I don't know. I'm all right with Miguel, but and then like you say, we could do with a backup winger, backup fullback. A lot of it's, you're going to be playing more games, so you need a lot more backups. You need a bigger squad effectively than we have now. But the one main position for me that we really need to recruit in as like a first name on the team sheet has got to be a CDM, number 6.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Rob?
No, I just, funny enough, agree with everything Crypto just said. I do think we're going to have to, we're potentially going to play another 10, 15 fixtures next year that we're not playing this year. Because if we go further if we take the League Cup seriously, if we do well in the Champions League or whatever we're in, we could have another 15, 20 fixtures to play. The question is, how far down do the European places go? Because I think that the sweet spot is we might need to be raiding the likes of Fulham or Bournemouth or whoever just misses out on European football.
Funny you should say that, Rob. Here's the scenario where 11 teams get into Europe. And shout out to Matt for sending me that. Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Man City all qualify for the Champions League as top 4 teams. Newcastle qualify for the Champions League in 5th, with UEFA awarding an extra place for that 5th place position. Brighton and Hove Albion qualified the Europa League by finishing 6th. Bournemouth finished 7th and qualified for Europa by winning the FA Cup. Chelsea finished 8th and qualified for Europa by winning the Conference League. Villa finished 9th and qualified for Champions League by winning the Champions League. Man U or Spurs finished 10th and qualified for Champions League by winning Europa. In the example above, the Conference League place earned by Liverpool or Newcastle for winning the EFL Cup, which is obviously Newcastle now, could not be allocated to any of the top 10 teams, as they would all have qualified for other European competitions. It would therefore go to the team in the next highest place, which would be 11th. So there
Crystal
you go.
Palace? Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Palace. Yeah, Palace is
Crystal
11th.
Palace.
To pay off.
Yeah, okay. But I think that's the sort of people we need to be looking at. But so, for example, if Palace don't make it, we need to be looking at Wharton, Eze, people like that. Definitely, because we can offer them.
Is that high enough caliber for where we are now?
Well,
and I like those players. And I like those
players.
players.
England team, at least one of them's in the actual England team. So, yeah, I think so. I think those two are the sort
when Eze
Henderson's in the England team.
Yeah. Hey, look, he's not a bad goalkeeper, and he wouldn't be a bad.
Jordan he's on about.
Oh right, I thought you meant Dean Henderson, because he is also in the.
that famous midfielder Dean Henderson.
No, but all right. I thought you meant Dean Henderson because we were talking about Crystal Palace.
Yes,
right. You're all right. You're all right, Rob.
Your train of thought's fine.
Go on, Ez. What are you saying in terms of where he's upgrading? By the way, I gotta say, Tyler Adam is still my number 1 choice. He's been my choice for about 3 years.
He had a long injury, but he's been very good since he came back from it.
How long's he been back for, though? It's only
about 3-4 months, something like that, consistently.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes on till the end of the season, but he's still obviously one of the players that was on our early shortlist, wasn't it? when we came up. But in terms of where we need to, that's a position. You know, I can't go against what the guys have said, but I think there are certain positions where we need more than one player, and I think we do need 2 strikers. I think Chris Wood is purely going to be a backup striker next season, and we shouldn't be relying on him. I think we're going to have 4 fronts with potentially fighting on, and you are going to need a squad in that sense. We've seen at times that Nuno's liked to play 2 up front, whether it's been Alanga playing as that second striker. So there's no reason why we can't get can't be looking at 2 quality strikers coming in. So that's a position where I'd probably look at more than one player. But CDM, as we've mentioned all season, although Nuno's changed the formation a little bit and he's got both MG Dub and Anderson playing a more deeper role, does he want to go forward with that next season? Does he want to make sure we've got options? He's not... As hard as I think it is for Sangare and Danilo to get into this formation, I just think the players that are there have done well enough. You know, they've got a lot to... they weren't going to be walking in, as I think someone might do. But I don't also think that they're totally in Nuno's plans going forward. So that central midfield, whether you call it a CDM or actual number 8, another number 8 that we look at, I think we need strengthening there. And I've said it already, a fullback. So I say a couple of strikers, CDM or central midfielder, and a fullback that can play probably left or right.
Someone made a good point in the chat, though, that, you know, I'd still want to bring someone in, but Sangare playing European teams will arguably be better than playing in the Premier League, because the pace of the game in Europe is nothing like the Premier League. And I was watching, I can't remember who it was, but I was watching an interview and they were talking about Sangare's play. And they were basically saying that he's a fantastic player, but where he's struggling is the pace of the game. If you put him in a European match where he can kind of stand around and make decisions a bit slower, then he's going to be decent again.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to say pretty much the same as everybody else. Look, we need quite a few players just to bulk out the squad, but we need to raise the quality, either raise the ceiling or raise the floor, one of the two. We can't get people like Jota and Sosa.
Oh, I like that. Say that again, and I like it. Say it again.
We need to either raise the ceiling or raise the floor, preferably both.
That's so deep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. Yeah, preferably both. Yeah. What we
I'm
can't do
that for a video this week, some point, man. Yeah, that was deep.
What we can't do is bring in somebody that keeps the status quo, like bringing somebody that's a similar ability to Jota or similar ability to Sosa.
Yeah, no, it's got to be better.
Got to raise everything.
Well, we do face a dilemma with that.
One little thing about it, and this, in some respects, points to what Crypto was just saying. That I was thinking about it. That I used to always think it's about players that want to come for Champions League. Most of the Champions League games are not, Real Madrid. They're not Paris Saint-Germain. Most of them are mid teams. I don't mean mid-table. I mean mid. They're not.
Not anymore, and not with.
Not anymore. No, I'm loving this format.
They are.
No, because you play 4 hard, 4 easy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's 4 easy. That's 4 easy. So. You don't always, when people say, "Oh, are you going to cope with the league and the Champions League?" Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but there will be games in the Champions League where we will be the big team, we will be the big club, we'll have the better pedigree. So not all. So you can afford to rotate some players in the Champions League depending on the game you're playing.
Yeah.
I've looked at Champions League games, right? Picking out which one I'm going to watch. Normally, obviously, it's an English team, but apart from that, and a lot of them I think, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. Genoa versus bloody some team from Malta. I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? So they're not all great games. They'll be great for us, but they're not all difficult. We will be able to rotate.
Can I raise a thing, which is
Go on.
If let's say we're faced with a choice with the strikers, would you rather that we bring in like 1 50 million striker or 2 25 million strikers? Right, yeah, I agree. And I'm just coming back on something that Ed said about we need to bring in a couple of strikers.
Yeah, I think we do.
You know what? It gives me PTSD too. So when we were talking to Frank Clarke the other day, after Collymore went, he replaced him with 2 strikers. Kevin Campbell, who was injured, and Silenzi, who was terrible. And, and things took a nosedive after that. And I think that but the trouble is that if you, strikers are the most expensive players, right? And if you spunk all that money on one player, you are taking a huge risk. I mean, remember when we put everything into buying Britta Sombolongo? He was great, and then he got injured, and then you are
injury.
That's always the risk, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. So the trouble is, you think that if we buy two, they can't both be crap, so it's less risky than buying one. I disagree. I think that if you buy two, and they can both be crap. So we are going to have to be really brave, and we're going to have to be really brave, and we're going to have to spend 50 million on somebody, and it's unfamiliar.
Another problem with bringing two £25 million players is they're both going to want to be number one.
Exactly. That's a very good point. And so any striker needs a run in the team. And we've seen that. Like, we want Taiwo to come back to form, but if he's getting 10 minutes every game, that's not an opportunity to do it. So we're going to play more games next season, potentially 10, 15 more games. So we need more, another striker. But I hope that the club, and I do have faith in Marinakis, he will, they must have some top targets. And I think no one would come in the January window because we hadn't won anything yet. But once we've qualified for Europe, we're a very attractive proposition for somebody. So I hope that they have the guts to put all that money into one striker. Admittedly, when you're Forest, you can't afford it that gamble to go wrong. If you're somebody like Man City, you can buy 3 of those a year, right? So, it's good. It's going to be an element of risk.
Okay.
But I hope that they have the guts to do it.
Yeah. But I'll just go back to why I said 2 strikers, because I think we all agree. I think Taiwo is on his way out. I don't think he's going to be here next season. And we have already given Chris Wood that extension. So it's going to be somebody plus Chris Wood. So I think we need 2 strikers.
It'll be Yuri Roberto, boys. I think he's definitely...
Well, he wants to come, doesn't he? And that's a big part of it. That's a huge part of it. I want players who want to come.
Is he good? Yeah, he's potentially good. He's 23. I think he's the right profile to come under Chris Wood. He's right.
Yeah.
That's why you can get.
No. Under Chris Wood's no good. We need somebody to take over from Chris Wood.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Chris Wood's got, say, half a season in him next year of being red hot. And then that's when Yuri Roberto would have settled into England.
I'm looking for Yuri Roberto plus another striker
for one game next
season. Listen. Let's just dot the I's and cross the T's on the confirmation of the Champions League after we beat Man U, and then we can break this down. I just got to do a couple of super chats here. Wazza with the £2. He goes, support this channel, top knowledge. Wazza. I wish I could say you were so right. Screw it. I am going to say you're so right. Much love to the £2. Thank you, bro.
The fact that none of it agrees with the others is beside
exactly. Within all the crazy points you hear, maybe sometimes one person does have top knowledge.
Yeah, somebody must be right.
Yeah, the probabilities are that someone's going to be there. Thank you so much, bro. And Chris with the £2, he goes, Anderson will be our 6 eventually. I do not agree, bro. I think he's a better 8, in my opinion. But
I agree he's a better 8, but I think he could play 6.
He could play a 6, but we need to. I don't want to do this forcing players into position.
Gibbs-White's almost been a 6 the last couple of games.
Just to back up that point, someone did an interview with Anderson, and he told the interviewer he likes to play 6. He wants to play as a 6. Yeah.
I thought he said 10.
No, he said 6. He said he wants to play as a 6. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either.
All right, listen. What we're gonna do now? These guys don't know, but I'm just gonna chuck it on them. So screw them. They're all looking at me like crazy. How are we doing on the likes, by the way?
We got
310, not bad. Get to 250. Right, we're going to jump over onto Loaded Mag to congratulate our Reliance brothers on their successful winning and beating Liverpool today. This is going to redirect you straight there now. We'll only be on for like 5-10 minutes just to give our brothers much love and much respect for what they did today. So this will send you right there. Please make sure you've hit that like button. We'll be on there in a second talking with our fellow Alliance brothers. So come in there and in the chat, just write Alliance when this redirects you there so they know you've come from FFTV. So we'll see you over there in a second. Thank you for watching. Forest the third, Champions League done and dusted. Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.